Hello, and welcome to this episode of Spotlight with Sandhya. I've been enjoying talking to interesting people about their lives, passion, work, and more. And I hope you've been enjoying this program too. Keep those suggestions coming about people I could invite to be featured on Spotlight with Sandhya. In today's episode, I bring you a mouth-watering story of a successful startup. You know the adage that says every cloud has a silver lining? Now, here's someone who's found a silver lining in the COVID-19 and the subsequent lockdown.
Not only did he find a lining for himself, but he's become a source of good cheer to people in Bangalore. During the lockdown, without the domestic help coming in, we've been finding it difficult to keep the kitchens going. Truth to tell, you can't keep ordering from restaurants. The person who's come to our rescue is the one who's going to be featured on our show today. But to tell you more about it, I bring you Cecil Premi. Hi, Cecil.
Hi, Sandhya. Thanks for having me on the show.
He's put together a whole community of people who can get an array of food, be it a simple dal or a succulent feast, and all being cooked by home chefs in the neighborhoods. You are proof of the belief in the startup world that an entrepreneur who's failed the first time is the one who's going to be successful in the next venture. Tell us very briefly about what you were doing before you started this new venture of yours.
All right. So I have been in and out of being an entrepreneur myself, almost 22 years of my career span. I started one venture way back in 2003 that became a phenomenal success. That was in the automotive consulting space. I exited that in 3 years' time, and then I got back into the corporate world. 2017, the entrepreneurship bug again bit me, and lo and behold, the second time when I started out, all hell broke loose, literally. So I tried almost 24 different ventures. Most of them, collapsed. They didn't really take off. And it was at that point of time that I was struggling with my one of my last ventures that I was on to. That was last year, and I was trying to help out a friend of mine with his bakery. And I tried to get his stuff to my apartment complex, to the residents there. And I used to kind of communicate about that through the WhatsApp group. And that's where I saw the power of WhatsApp groups. One thing led to another, and I started community-based WhatsApp groups in different localities of Bangalore.
So that was your eureka moment. The way you started this business was actually by trying to be a good Samaritan or a good friend to someone. Isn't that right? You weren't really looking at it as a business idea.
When the previous ventures were on, the last few I would say, and when the, just about the time when the final nails were being, put into those coffins, I was, I kind of came across this friend of mine who used to be running a bakery, and he was finding it difficult to sell his produce because probably his location where he wasn't really suitable for running a bakery. So I would see him every time I would be returning home. And I made an offer to him that saying, what if I could help you sell your breads? Because his breads were amazing. So, and I said, okay, now I've told him that I'll try selling his bread, but where do I sell it? So I reached out to people in my apartment WhatsApp group. And that's where I started talking about it, and people started placing orders, And then that became a regular activity. Every day evening when I would leave my office, I would drop into that bakery. I would pick up the bread and I would bring it home, and I would send my son across to various apartments, homes, and he would go and deliver it. So it became like a regular activity then. And very soon I shut down that office, and my location shifted. And I stopped going to that, being on that route, and therefore I could not be at that bakery. And people started asking, hey, can we get that bread that you used to get? And I used to tell them that, sorry, I don't come by that route anymore. So why don't you get in touch with the bakery directly? But that kind of gave me the thought that, hey, WhatsApp groups are able to do something that retail outlet paying lakhs of rupees as rent is unable to do. And that's where I saw the power of WhatsApp. And I said, okay, why not start something similar in a larger community in an area, let's say Cooktown or Richmond Town and so on. That was the genesis of this whole concept.
Okay, that's very interesting. And you also came across this concept of social proof, I'm sure, like many of us who've been experimenting with social media. And has it been working out well for you?
I was of the opinion that you should have a mobile application for any kind of an online business. But then what I realized was there are dime a dozen or probably a few million mobile applications already available, and many of them don't have takers for them. And the reason what I realized was that there is lack of social proof. And the social proof is actually very clearly visible when you are on a WhatsApp group or let's say on Facebook or on Instagram. So I said, okay, that's something that I should be gunning for. So it's been almost 10 months and I still don't have a mobile application, but the whole community has mushroomed. And today I have about 120 WhatsApp groups, more than 8,000 people in the community, more than 150 home chefs onboarded. Yeah, social proof is really something that works very well.
Oh, this name for your business, EON Foody, what does it stand for? Is there a meaning to it, or it's just some words that you put together?
Okay, EON Foody actually means foodie forever, an eternal foodie. Okay. And it also means everyone a foodie. So I believe everyone loves food and everyone can be a consumer on this platform. And the ones who are a little more daring and a little more skilled can also be food sellers on my platform. So yeah, that's what it means.
So just to, I'm a member of your EON Foodie group, and you've been nice enough to start another strictly vegetarian group also for people like me, who felt that that's a better way to get more food from across Bangalore, from vegetarian kitchens. Now, coming to the chefs, how do they get onto your platform, and do they have to pay something? How does it work out for them?
Yeah, so as far as the food sellers are concerned, yes, they have to register with us. We have a validation process wherein which we check out their premises. We also do sampling of their food. And yes, there is a subscription that we charge them. It's a very insignificant amount, probably close to around 250 to 300 rupees is what we charge them on a monthly basis, depending on the category that they fit in. So this platform is free for the people who buy food, which we call them as foodies. Whereas people who sell food, the food sellers, they are home chefs or home bakers. We also have a category called foodpreneurs, which is basically an entrepreneur who's in the field of food. These are the people who actually pay us a subscription amount. We also have a model wherein which we partner with these home chefs and home bakers, wherein which they pay us a small percentage of the sales that they achieve on the platform. So yeah, you can either take a subscription route or you can take a revenue sharing route with us.
Oh, wonderful. And, one of the things that I notice is how you've been supporting farmers, especially, all the fruit growing farms and orchards that are in and around Bangalore. I think we thoroughly enjoyed the lot of grapes that we purchased, and the whole neighborhood enjoyed it. And now I see that you've been organizing outings where people can go pick their fruit and then pay the farmer for the fruit that they have picked, as well as enjoy the whole bit of sharing the outing with their friends and family. How did you come to think of it? And if I'm not mistaken, today's paper also said that the agriculture minister of our state is promoting this farm tourism.
So what happened was while we were doing food, we also felt that now we should increase that portfolio, which is where fruits and vegetables and bakery products like breads, all that came into the picture. So we started dealing with the traders to begin with. And then slowly and steadily, the farmers also started approaching us. And we've been through some unprecedented times with the COVID situation. So that is when a lot of farmers approached us and they wanted to sell their produce. We found it difficult to buy the produce and sell it. We said, okay, we can introduce you to the consumers directly and they can buy it. But the problem was that every time a farmer would come, let's say with a truckload of, let's say, veggies or fruits, now, and they would sell probably half of the truck, they wouldn't be able to take the remaining half back, because when they take it back, they wouldn't be able to sell it again. So that would be a loss to them. And I tried taking part of that produce with me, and I stocked it, but I didn't have cold storage facilities, and I lost a lot of that produce because of the fruit getting decayed and all that. So then I said, okay, what's the solution to this? So I said, okay, why can't, instead of the farmer coming in and meeting the consumer, why can't the consumer go to the farm? And also with the labor situation right now, the migrants have gone back. Many of the farms don't have sufficient labor. So I said, you could have a win-win-win here. So I said, the consumer goes to the farm, plucks the fruit or harvests the vegetable, pays the farmer. So the farmer gets direct access to the consumer instead of going through a broker, distributor and so on. So I thought that works really well. And after the lockdown has been coming off, we are all vying to get a chance to go out and, go out to the family and have an outing. While there is a problem with this whole social distancing thing, but if you go to a farm, frankly, there is no problem of social distancing because you're in a place which is wide and spread out and out in the open. So you're not really interacting with the people except for maybe your family and friends or just a small small closed knit group. So yeah, so I saw that as a great option where everyone benefits. The consumer benefits by getting an experience and being able to buy vegetables and fruits at a low price. And the farmer gets a decent value compared to what he would get from the brokers. Yeah, so all worked out well, and there is frankly no need for storage because the fruit is on the tree or on the plant, and the moment you pluck it, you buy it and you take it away. On the tree, it's almost like a cold storage, So on the tree, the fruit is in the best place; it doesn't get spoiled that easily. So yeah, so you give it time, and the farmer sells out his produce over a period of time. It works out very well for everyone.
Wow, it sounds very interesting. Sounds, something that all of us would want to try at least once before we make up our mind whether it's going to become a monthly outing at least.
What I did was myself, I said, okay, I'm promoting this whole concept, but have I done it myself? So yesterday I went out with my family to this pomegranate farm. This person has about 4 tons of pomegranates to sell, and it's all hanging on the tree right now. Not many takers for it because it's done organically, and when you do something organically, generally it's not very appealing to look at. It may be very healthy to consume, but may not be very nice to look at. So there are not many takers for his produce. And so therefore I went with my family and I had a lovely time there. We all thoroughly enjoyed it, and we picked up a lot of fruit and we brought it here. So yeah, having done that, I believe it's an amazing experience to have for people. And I believe what you're paying for is just the experience, and the fruit actually comes free, So that's the way I look at it. And I believe consumers will also see it that way.
Yeah, I'm sure, because who wouldn't want to be in the wide open spaces, smelling the earth and the greenery and, just enjoying the beauty of nature.
And with the cloudy weather right now.
Absolutely. Sure, I know, with the blue clouds and the white clouds in the blue sky. It's awesome. Yeah. Yes. Do you have any idea about the number of, these small entrepreneurs that you have created by enabling them to become home chefs? Would you have any number?
So we are currently at 150. Our target is to touch 10,000 in the next year and a half.
Okay.
So that's one number that we are dealing with. So that's the home chefs and the home bakers. Yeah, and there is another number that we're dealing with. We call them as, there's another number of people. We call them as foodpreneurs. And that's another number. That's a much larger number that I'm targeting. So probably more than 10,000. So all put together about 20,000 people just in Bangalore in the micro-entrepreneurship space of food. Yeah, so that's the number that we're talking about.
So who is a foodpreneur in your definition?
Okay, this is somebody who would like to do something in the space of food, but may not be able to cook very well. So because not everyone is gifted to probably make the best chicken biryanis or the best puliogres and all of that. While like somebody like me, for example, the only food that I can make is a Maggi. So I can't go beyond.
What a letdown, Cecil.
Yeah, but I love food, so I'm a foodie myself. But then as far as cooking is concerned, I'm frankly nowhere close to the kind of home chefs that we have on the platform. Now, there are people like me who would love to participate in a business opportunity like this. So what we are saying is that, if you as a foodpreneur can follow a process, you may not be able to bring out the tastiest and the yummiest of foods at the end of the day. But if you follow a process, there are products, food products that you can produce. For example, juices, preserves, jams, pickles, sauces, your pasta sauces, and so on and so forth. So there are about a few hundred products that can be produced by these people. The only condition is they need to follow a process, and they need to have decent storage capacity, including refrigeration and so on. So if there is somebody like that wanting to get into food business, we have opportunities for them. We also give them access to the community that we have. So now we can train them on the different products that they can make. We can help them store it correctly, and we can give them access to a market where they can sell it also. So that way, I believe if they can make 10, 15, 20,000 rupees a month, and if they have something else alongside to take care of their things financially, I think they'll be able to live a decent quality life while in the city.
Wonderful. And do you have plans of also creating, cloud kitchens or something like that? I think, a lot of cooks who used to come to homes and cook may find themselves without jobs. I think people have got used to managing their own kitchens, or people like me have suddenly found that there was a cook hiding inside all along and now has been let loose. So we don't really need a cook every day. So how are you planning to harness their talent and make them a part of your business?
Yeah. So actually, there are two categories of people. Like the one category that you just mentioned are the people who would be who used to cook in various homes, and they probably over a period of time lost their jobs. And but as what has happened is they are the ones who have come in touch with us. The problem is the suitability of their home environment where food can be cooked with the kind of hygiene that we require. So that may be a challenge. So we are saying, okay, can we provide cloud kitchens, and can we have some sort of check mechanism in place that the hygiene factors can be looked into, and they can produce stuff in our cloud kitchens, and that can be sold through the network that we have. That is one. There is a second category, which are people who used to own restaurants before COVID happened. You would be aware that probably 30, 40, or even 50% of the restaurants will never reopen again after the lockdown is lifted. These are people who are fantastic cooks again. But what has happened is they've had to let go of the restaurant place that they had. They've had to let go of the equipment that they had, the labor that they had. Now they are all by themselves, but they can also be fantastic home chefs, And I have been coming across such people as well, who are now starting to, prepare food from home. These are two categories of people that have recently been brought into the system, and that is leading to an expansion of this whole network of food sellers on the platform.
Oh, wonderful. What do you do when you get a negative review about one of your chefs, be it a home chef or one of your foodpreneurs? How do you tackle that?
We do get such feedback once in a while. So we reach out to the home chef. Frankly, we're all human beings, and we all could be, in a situation where we make a mistake knowingly or unknowingly. So we reach out to the home chef and we counsel them. So most of the complaints would be regarding packaging, for example. A foodie says, "Hey, I received a package, and the gravy was spilling out, or the thing wasn't packed really well." So those are the kind of issues we take up with the home chef, and one is we counsel them. Second is if there is any support required, like if they need packaging material support from our side, we are happy to render that. And after a couple of iterations, things do really get sorted out, and they're back on the platform again. Once in a while, we've had situations where the home chef hasn't been able to comply with our requirements, and we've had to ask them to exit the group also. But that has been one odd case here and there. Otherwise, our home chefs have actually set very, very high standards for themselves, because frankly, they're the ones who are consuming this food at home themselves. It's for their family as well. In fact, they are extremely careful with the hygiene factors. They have taken extra precautions, with respect to all this. So yeah, it's all good so far.
So Cecil, do you have plans of rolling out this business to different cities? Right now, you're only in Bangalore, if I'm right?
That's right. We have already been talking to partners in different cities. So yes, next 6 months we'll have this rollout in at least a couple of other cities, and you'll get to hear about it pretty soon.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think this has been a very interesting program for me, because I've been able to discover so many friends and acquaintances because I'm part of one or two groups. I know you request us to be part of only one group, so we don't cram, WhatsApp groups and other people can join, but then it's too tempting. Some of the dishes which are a little away from a neighborhood are just too tempting. So I find it very interesting to see a sense of community that's being created. I don't know whether you had aimed for it, but that's become a bonus for all of us. I wish you great success, and thank you for being on this show. And to our viewers, if you like the show, please subscribe to the Raintree Media channel on YouTube, and don't forget to spread the good word. See you on the other side. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, Sandhya. Thank you.